Welcome to The Power of Presence, an hour dedicated to helping you improve relationships with those around you, and in turn, helping to improve your life. Your hosts for The Power of Presence are renowned talk show host Mike Siegel and Lynn Taylor, president of Taylor Protocols Incorporated. Now, here are Mike and Lynn.
And we're talking with Gary Breininger. Dan Cox is with us as well. Both have been advocates of, one with the company, one using the tool himself in his own work, the Core Values Index, the CVI as we call it, and we're glad to have them both with us. Gary, let's talk about, I know you worked with a couple of divisional presidents of organizations, and you've had great success with your clients in using the Core Values Index in that regard. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so, we have worked with all kinds of organizations over the years, literally of all types and sizes, but the one I'm going to sort of call up today as an example, it's a real nice mid-size regional wholesale distribution firm. They're actually up here in Ontario, Canada, and they've got about 75 team members. So, as I say, just a real nice mid-sized firm. The company is really not that old. They grew quite quickly over the course of about 2 years since their startup. And, during that time, they were quite successful at creating a business model that was based on having some very deep and strategic relationships with a relatively small number of end customer organizations. So their value prop was all about service and outstanding value, right? So sounds pretty good so far. The thing is, though, that while they had, a small handful of actual core clients, each of those core clients had literally dozens of end service points, branches basically. So we're talking about, hundreds and hundreds of locations throughout the province, which sort of equates to your states. And each of them had their own unique needs, right? So it was a pretty complex thing. And what started to happen over time is as some of the initial concepts were developed, started to become implemented, some small bumps started to come up, right? And that invariably happens when we're implementing big strategic solutions, but it doesn't mean that it was fun for people. And in fact, what it was causing was certainly a certain amount of strain on the relationship between our client and their end customers. Cost to serve was higher than it really needed to be, which was, of course, hurting profitability. And the other thing, on more of a human level, it was causing a huge amount of stress on these two divisional presidents, right, that were responsible for overseeing the day-to-day operations of the organizations. So what we did was we went in, we had a series of conversations with the leadership team, and what we quickly concluded was that one of the initial points of low-hanging fruit or opportunities was to really engage with those divisional presidents in helping them learn how to be the best possible leaders they could be, right? And the very first place we started was with the CVI. And what we were trying to do there was essentially give them the opportunity to each get a better understanding of who they really are as individuals, right? Along with more insight into how they could best contribute to the success of their respective teams.
You've been listening to The Power of Presence. Your hosts have been talk show host Mike Siegel and Lynn Taylor, president of Taylor Protocols Incorporated.